So let's dive into Nadia Hashimi's incredible novel, The Pearl That Broke Its Shell. At its heart, it's built around this powerful central idea, this metaphor really, about being trapped and that deep gut-level urge to break free. It's a struggle that we're going to see echo across generations of Afghan women.
Right from the start, the book hits you with this line from the poet Rumi. And this isn't just some, beautiful, fancy opening quote. No, this is basically the blueprint for the entire story. The pearl, that's the women we're about to meet. And the shell, well, that's everything holding them back. Culture, family, tradition, you name it. The whole novel is about that constant pressure from the seawater, from life itself, just begging them to find the strength to finally break free. So, how do you even tell a story like that, one that stretches across generations? What Hashimi does is actually pretty brilliant. She weaves together two parallel lives, a whole century apart, to show us that even though the shells might change over time, that fundamental fight for freedom, it's absolutely timeless.
All right, so let's get to know the two pearls at the center of all this. We've got Rahima, who's living in the 21st century, and then we have Shekiba, her great-great-grandmother 100 years before her. They're separated by a century, but as you're about to see, their lives are going to mirror each other in some really profound and honestly uncanny ways. So first up is Rahima. Picture this. She's a young girl in modern-day Afghanistan, and she's one of 5 sisters. In her world, not having a son is a huge source of shame for her father. And his disappointment, it just hangs over the whole family like a dark cloud, threatening everything, even the girl's chance to get an education. Yeah, that's Rahima's father, just boiling over with frustration. Now, let's jump back 100 years to Shekiba's story. Her tragedy is different, but it's just as devastating. A cholera epidemic just rips her family apart. She's left orphaned, scarred, and basically treated like an unwanted burden by whatever family she has left. So you've got these two women, Rahima and Shekiba, totally trapped by their circumstances. But then, this really surprising and unusual Afghan tradition comes into play, and it offers both of them a temporary escape, a way to, for a little while, step outside the strict confines of their gender. This escape route is called bacha posh. For Rahima, the idea comes from her aunt. The suggestion is, what if Rahima dresses and lives as a boy named Rahim? Suddenly, she could do things that were completely forbidden to her as a girl, like running errands and, most importantly, walking her sisters to school safely. And you can just imagine, for Rahima, it's intoxicating. All of a sudden, she can go to school with the boys, she can play soccer in the streets, she feels this confidence she has never, ever known before. But, and this is the big but, this freedom has an expiration date. It creates this confusing split in her identity, giving her a taste of a world she knows she can't keep. And that day when she has to become a girl again is always just looming. I mean, listen to this. She feels her legs are liberated. Can you imagine just being able to run completely free from judgment? Now, a century earlier, Shekiba goes through her own version of this. To make her useful, her relatives force her to do a boy's hard labor out in the fields. It's not a choice for her, not at all. But it forges this toughness, this resilience in her that she is going to desperately need to survive what's coming next. Okay, so this is where it all starts to click together. Rahima's aunt starts telling her the story of Shekiba. And this isn't some fairy tale, It's a lesson. It's a blueprint for resilience, a roadmap to show Rahima that she is not alone in this fight, that other women in her family, her own blood, have faced impossible odds before and survived. This quote from her aunt, man, it just hits you. Her story is your story. And you really start to see it. The parallels become painfully clear, especially when their time as boys is over. For both of them, that brief taste of freedom is just snatched away, and they're treated like property, bartered off into marriage. I mean, just look at how their fates mirror each other. Shekiba, once she's no longer useful in the fields, is literally given away as a gift to the king. She's sent to the Argus Shahi Palace and basically thrown into the viper's nest of the royal harem, a world of jealousy and danger where every single move is watched. And Rahima's situation? It's just as grim. Her father marries her and her sisters off to this brutal local warlord. She becomes the 4th wife, entering a life of just constant abuse and servitude. But even in this seemingly hopeless place, that resilience we talked about, it finds a way. She finds this really unexpected path forward by helping her husband's first wife, Badria, who happens to be a member of parliament, who can't read or write. This trip to Kabul is a complete
game changer for Rahima. It's a seismic shift. As she's reading these parliamentary documents for Badria, her eyes are open to this whole world of politics, of ideas, of powerful women that she never even knew existed. And for the very first time, she sees that there's a life beyond her husband's walls. And this new kind of hope starts to take root. All right, so this is it. This brings us to the breaking point, to the climax for both women. Fueled by everything they've been through, Shekiba and Rahima finally make their move to shatter the shells that have held them captive for so long. So, let's look at Shekiba first. Back at her time, she uses her intelligence, her cunning, to navigate the dangerous court politics. She manages to escape the harem and build a whole new life for herself, even finding a marriage built on respect. And Rahima, with her ancestor's story just burning in her mind, decides she has to do the same. After this just horrific, brutal beating where her husband actually hacks off her hair, he taunts her with this line. And you know what's crazy? In a moment of just twisted irony, his own cruelty hands her the key to her escape. She takes his advice. She becomes a boy one more time, using the very same disguise that first gave her a taste of freedom to flee into the streets of Kabul and find safety. So in the end, it's incredible. They both take the very things that were meant to oppress and control them and turn them into weapons of liberation. Their temporary male identities, their intelligence that was forged in hardship, these become the keys to their freedom. They really embody the strength of their lineage, proving that resilience can be passed down through generations, just like a family heirloom. And that's really what the book leaves you with, right? This big, powerful question. How much of our destiny is written by those who came before us? And are their stories a cage that holds us back? Or are they the key that gives us the strength to write our own ending?